Where's my chat? How about chat? There we go. All right, live on both. Welcome everybody. Welcome McCaul on the stream for the second time. It's been a while though. Brian, we're gonna have some fun. Hopefully our volumes are okay. We were a little bit of rush this morning, so you know, you guys let us know. I will do some checking right now on my side. If each of you want to just give me a quick mic check, we could try to match this.
Yeah, let's do it. What's up, Cam? How you doing, man?
Yo, I'm doing well. Mic check, mic check.
All right, cool. Yeah, let me turn up you, Cam. Give me another one.
Test 1, 2.
Yeah, we're good. I think we're good. Boom.
Test 3, 4.
Y'all let us know if anybody's coming in too loud or too quiet, and we will adjust on the fly because that's how we roll.
Yeah. So we got a lot of things to talk about today. A lot of things we want to ask Cam. You guys, I asked you guys to post questions in the Discord. A lot of you did, and they're actually like really good questions, I think. So we're gonna fire those off later. We got new physics changes that I want to get actually Cam's opinion on and see what we should tweak to make this feel even more realistic. We've got a new bike brand coming in the game. I don't know if I want to officially announce it yet, but maybe I'll drop some hints. We've also got a new gear brand coming in the game, which we haven't officially dropped yet, but also give some hints. And Cam is very familiar with this gear brand. So
we are all very familiar with this gear brand.
Yes,
we are all very familiar.
So if you know who if you know what gear brand Cam rides for, you know what's coming in the game,
including those who come from motocross. We are very aware of that.
There we go.
there you go, Cam. So lots of fun things.
I wasn't sure if I knew that.
Yeah, I did get a hold of the Atherton guys, by the way, Dan. So I'm in talks with those guys about a bunch of different stuff. So a lot of fun things in the works. But today we just want to hang out with Cam, and also we'll probably jump in the multiplayer server later. So if you guys are on the Patreon, you can already get in there, go play the multiplayer server. We'll get in there later. I want to see how many people we can get in there and kind of stress test it. So that's the intro.
Word.
Brian, you want to take it away, or
how do you want to start it? What are you going to do first in the game? Why don't you give us a quick update of where we are in Cranked first? We'll start it that way, and then I want to find out, Cam, more about your trip to New Zealand and what you were doing down there and how all that went. Just kind of catch up with you since the last time we talked, and then we can just kind of
sounds great,
chill and have fun. What you got going on in the game at this point, Joe? Yeah,
so as you guys know, Michael Hodge, our programmer, has been working hard on multiplayer. So multiplayer is still a work in progress, but he's getting, you know, like if you haven't been around, we've got text chat now, so you can chat in the server and other things. There's a bunch of, you know, you can hold down the start button, see the connected players. I'm not playing in the actual server right now, so there's no connected players, but what I've been doing, as Hodge is working on multiplayer, I'm just impatient and I really wanted some physics changes. So I've been working on physics changes. There's been a lot of requests and I really want Cam's opinion on some of these things. Like one of the things we changed was off-camber slip. So now like if I'm on an off-camber slope, the bike will slip a little bit, where before it would just kind of grip unrealistically. The other thing I worked on...
that's sick. You can see it happening.
Yeah. The other thing I worked on, I just went through a rock. That's cool. Is under braking now. You can see before, and we can show an example, but before the front and rear wheel will always kind of like locked in line. But now when you brake, you can, in fishtail a little, like you can get the back tire more loose. And also braking on braking on a slope is now changed. So before on a very steep slope like this, you would come to a complete stop. And we know in real life, if you're on a crazy steep slope, like, and you're just holding the brakes, like sometimes you'll just continue to like be sliding. So the steeper the slope, the harder it is to come to a stop and brake. And if it goes steep enough, you will never be able to stop and you'll just kind of keep sliding, which is new. Before it was super unrealistic and you would just kind of like stick. I mean, you could be on like a 80-degree down slope and just come to a stop. So that's been fixed. I worked a little bit on stoppies. They still have a lot of room to go, but like now you can at least kind of get it up and balance it. So we still got room for improvement there. But that's what I've been working on the last day, actually. I just spent about 14 hours yesterday doing all that stuff. So
just 14 hours, no big deal.
Yeah. So that's where the game's at. But let me rip a couple lines. Cam, we've been working on these trails that are more feeling like, probably like what you're used to, that kind of get like a single track, almost like a loamy vibe, just kind of like something kind of raw and uncut, and I don't know. So I'll rip some laps through here while you guys chat if you want.
So what is the trail you're on right now, Joe?
doesn't have a name yet. These are like 3 new single track trails that Antgrass is working on. They're not complete, but I'll run some laps on all 3 of them.
Cool.
We'll add racing in the future and figure out some names. Cam, if you got a name by chance, you want to name a trail, feel free.
There you go.
I'll brainstorm for sure. We got some real life trails out here that still don't have names too. So maybe maybe I'll have a big brainstorm session, name some digital trails, name some real trails.
Nice.
Got to get to know this one right here and see if it names itself. That's
what I'm talking
trail names, aren't they?
That's what I'm talking about, Cam. You're not going to do this too fast. You want it to earn the name, man. You want to like spend some time with it and understand what it should be called. That's what makes a good name. It would be fun to build an in-game trail sort of in conjunction with y'all building real-world trails, like to kind of get on the same page ahead of time and to see what the progress you make and to kind of follow along in-game. That'd be a fun thing to do. Never thought about that before.
100%. I feel like the more you can do that, the better. Could you imagine, having the same trail that exists in real life and then having that be a challenge for a player is to mimic a POV lap that somebody does on it, or mimic the tricks that somebody's doing on a trail that's hard to ride.
That'd be sick.
I feel like you could do some really cool stuff with that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Especially if we get some like replica Crankworks trails or Darkfest or what was the one you were just at?
That's what I was gonna say, because when we were emailing last week, I was thinking about that afterward, and I was like, man, how cool would that be? So I was out at Natural Selection in Queenstown, and that's a really exciting event. And I can't say much about it because it's embargoed until the broadcast comes out in May, which is kind of crazy. We've never had an event that we have to keep secret until the broadcast is ready. But with that event, there's 2 trails, and the format is such that you have no throwaway runs. You have to do 1 run on each trail, and that's your score. You don't get like the ability to do a safety run, then go in and try to improve upon it. So it's crazy for the athletes because you have to memorize all the intricacies of these 2 really technical trails, and then you get 1 chance to go drop a run that has tricks in it and is as fluid and as smooth as possible. And it's funny, we were doing the very first broadcast last year of this format, and Cam Zink was in the studio with us doing the broadcast, and he was like, this is exactly what you would build for a mountain bike video game, like this format. And so I thought back about that after we were emailing the other day. I'm like, it would be insane to have those horses mimicked. And because they're so challenging to ride, I feel like it would fit really well with cranks, because the way you're updating the physics here to have things like off-camber matter, to have things like not being able to stop going down a hill, be more realistic. It would be challenging enough to just keep the bike on the trail that's modeled after the real trail, and then to add tricks in it would be hard in the same way as it's hard to add tricks to those trails in real life.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Let's make it happen.
That sounds awesome.
It'd be wild though. Like if you guys had like a couple tricks in the game, they're not doing, as crazy tricks in this event as you see at Crankworks. So it wouldn't just be like all the bar spins, all the tail whips. It's more about like doing them on these really challenging features and linking it all together. So you can have a challenge where somebody tries to mimic the winning run, and whoever mimics it as close as possible wins a prize or something. It'd be fun.
That would be amazing. I'm so down to do that. And most of that track or trail isn't. There's really no tree cover, right?
Correct.
So there's
pretty much no trees.
What country is it in? New Zealand?
In New Zealand.
If I can get, if we can get terrain data, because there's no trees, I could probably get really accurate terrain data for it. Like, we could replicate that pretty easily. So yeah, we could do some really cool stuff with that. But let me show you an example of this, like, braking, because I feel like this rock section right here is a good example of how now the braking is, like, way more sensitive. Like, I feel like
Look
this
at
section...
all the different trails you have in there.
Oh, yeah, like, if we fly around... there's, you know, this mountain is going to be full eventually we're hoping 60 trails, but this is the area we started on, kind of the beginning area, which I want to talk to you because you've got a training program in the works, which we'll get to, but I've got ideas on how we can incorporate it into this beginner area. So we'll talk about that at some point on the stream today, but, tons of trails there, and we're just like filling out every month. We add more trails, and eventually we'll have like 60. Oh dude, look at this sick, I think you'll appreciate this. This is more your style, I think. But like, this is a work in progress still, but our level designer Cedric's been working on these sick the transfer lines in here is unbelievable. When you get in here
Joe,
with
let's
multiplayer,
get some of these fast guys. Yeah, let's get some of these fast guys that are in the stream right now with you in there later, and you man the you want to do it now?
Well, let me show this braking thing real quick, and then we'll go do that. If you guys want to hop in and get sessioning on the dirt jumps, I'll be there in about 3 minutes. But I want to show you guys the braking changes, and I feel like I can show them really good on this rock slab right here. So before, like I said, you could just basically grip anything with the brakes, and the brakes are super sensitive. So you could kind of be coming into a turn super fast, just barely tap the brakes, slow down, rail the berm, and it was just kind of unrealistic and crazy. So now, if you watch here and I like come to this rock slab, I'm on the brakes and you're just kind of sliding. Like this is super steep section. So you kind of slide. I mean, I could come to almost a stop, but it makes it more risky feeling and more realistic, and just like, you know, you'll be like fishtailing, sliding down and just trying to find that line before you drop, and it just makes it more exciting and like.
Oh, and then you feel the speed too once you get off the brakes. You're charging now.
So
it's changed so much since the last time I was on the stream with you guys.
Oh yeah, it's been, because that was early in the beginning. Oh, this is bad. Boop. All right.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go fire up the full version. Where is my?
While you're doing that, Joe, let me kind of just do a quick intro of Cam in case there's anybody here. There may be some people here who don't know you. It's hard to imagine that that's true, but it could be the case. I saw some people from the motocross
I'm sure
world.
There's plenty.
That might some people I worked with at Racer X back in the day are hanging with us in the chat right now, so I'm not sure how tuned they are into mountain biking. But Cam, if you don't know Cam McCaul, he's just poetry on a bike. I mean, the number of videos I've watched of you just showing how it's done, Cam. You've been doing it for over 20 years. You were riding on track. Do you have a new bike brand that you're riding for now? Have you figured what?
I don't right now. Yeah, I'm trying to dial in a new partnership. Talking to a bunch of different brands. Haven't worked anything out yet, but still talking to a couple brands that still have possibilities alive.
Fox Racing, ride for Fox Racing. You work for Red Bull, do a lot of TV stuff for Red Bull. You were just down under with Red Bull, if I'm not mistaken, doing some work in New Zealand. You want to talk a little bit about what you were doing in New Zealand and what you're up to these days?
Yeah, in a nutshell, it was like a 3-week trip for 2 different events. The first trip, I do some work with Natural Selection Tour outside of the broadcast, and run the Natural Selection Bike Instagram account. And so I was down there, and I kind of help out between the events crew and the athletes, just kind of the athlete liaison, I guess is what they refer to it as. But I was down there just capturing a bunch of content for social. Like I said, that event broadcast doesn't come out until May, so I'll be going into a studio to do that broadcast. But just collecting a bunch of BTS stuff during practice and during finals that we can post and kind of tease out for the next few months until that broadcast comes out May 5th. And then right after that was the first Crankworks stop, also on the South Island of New Zealand. It was in Christchurch. So I rented a car, drove up to Christchurch after Queenstown, and did the live broadcast for the downhill race and the slopestyle event there in Christchurch.
Nice. Which I did watch. How did you feel about the new format for slopestyle?
I loved it, man. And my initial response to the proposal of that new addition to the format was excitement. I was like, this would be really cool, but the athletes have to be on board. And as soon as I talked to the athletes, they were all charged up about it. So I was like, all right, this is great. Because, there's that dynamic there. If the event organizers are trying to make the athletes jump through too many hoops and the athletes don't want to, that's never a good thing. But the athletes were like, all right, let's iron out the details of how this adjustment to the format will work, and then we're on board to try something new. So basically what it was, there's always a 2-run format in slopestyle, best run counts. And for the last few years, that has led to a lot of victory laps. A rider will stomp the winning run and run number 1. Nobody will be able to catch up to that. And so you kind of have this anticlimactic finish. And so the addition now, after the 2 runs, you have your rankings, best run counts for each rider. And then the top 3 plus anybody in the rankings who is within 10 points of the top 3 gets the opportunity to have one more bonus trick. So they're calling it the shootout round. And each athlete gets to choose what feature, there's 8 features on the course, what feature they want to do this trick on. So they don't have to call it the trick, but they have a trick in mind and they call it the feature. So the judges score that trick on a scale of 1 through 10. That score gets added into their best run score for their total score. So you can have a winning score over 100. Say if somebody scores a 95 and then they score a 10 in the shootout, then their total score would be 102 or whatever, right? So it was very much an experiment, but it worked out so well. We did it for the women's field, we did it for the men's field, and it just kept it exciting all the way up until the very end. So the crowd loved it, the riders loved it, us in the booth, we loved it. And yeah, I'd be curious to hear anybody who's on the stream, if they watched it, they liked it. I didn't think the pink bike comments were very positive compared to how positive the energy was there on site. The pink bike commenters didn't seem to like it very much, which I was very surprised about. But I thought it was pretty darn cool.
Do pink bike commenters like anything really ever? So, you know.
Anything? No, they don't.
But I thought it was
so
fun.
grumpy.
I enjoyed it. Like, you know, kind of, it's like that last chance to, like, you know, show off your stuff and maybe bump a spot or two. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I was like, wait, you know, the whole broadcast, I was kind of like excited and waiting for that moment. And then when it finally came, it's like, all right, cool. What are they going to drop down?
Totally. Also, the riders, they train so hard, but a lot of times they don't do their newest trick that they're excited about because it's too risky to do it in the middle of a contest run where there's 8 features that you got to link together. So to have an opportunity where they can roll the dice a little bit and try their new stuff without so many consequences of wrecking a whole run, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Mids has got a question here real quick about the game. Yo, bro, will you be able to do fakie stoppies and fakie wheelies? Yeah, that's the plan. I was working on stoppies yesterday, but see if I can. I don't know if I can do fakie ones yet. I don't think so. We got a lot of work to do on wheelies and stoppies. But yeah, I want like all the jibbing, nose bonks, stoppies, all the fun, silly stuff. I want all that possible.
I kind of like how the whips are looking.
Yeah, they're getting a little better, aren't they, Joe?
Yeah, and they look decent, especially in like when I'm flying the drone around and just like watching these guys throw big fat whips. It looks pretty good. But we're gonna even make them look even better.
Kind of like a turn up almost. You know, in moto where they do like the opposite free whip, and then it turns into a bigger whip the other way, all tabled out. It seems like it's doing those turn ups.
So what's cool is it's all like free physics based. Like the whips aren't a canned animation. Because like I was watching your whip video recently, and you were saying like a whip in mountain biking is like your fingerprint. Like everyone's got a different style, so we want to capture that in the game too. So it's all free physics. So some of these guys will throw like big turn down looking whips, some will throw different looking ones, but it's fun because everyone's kind of got their own unique style of whip. Oh, dude, look at that little flat spin transfer.
Great. Yeah, you're actually controlling it. You don't just hit a certain sequence of buttons and then it just unlocks. No. Like, you know, like the puppet that you pull the string and it's only got 5 things it says.
Yeah, we don't have any animated tricks right now. If we ultimately want to get into, you know, different range of tricks, we're going to have to, that are not just physics based, we're going to have to figure out how to use animations well, but we have a pretty good idea how to do that if we get to that point. Probably won't happen for the very initial 1.0 launch, just because we want to get all the other details right, the core of the game right. But if we do full tricks one day, which I think you want to, Joe.
Absolutely.
We know what we want to do. We know what we want to do, and, you know, and who can help us.
I want slopestyle to be
definitely
a big
more
part.
important to have like the whips and the threes look real and unique than it is to have the tricks, you know, at this point. It's like, all right, cool, those can come at some point. But if like the riding has, you know, uniqueness from player to player, I think that's more important.
Yeah, plus, you know, like I think the whip is the staple trick. Like that's the most important in my opinion. Whips and scrubs and those things. So I feel like dialing those in first, you know, and you do that in race runs, you do it in slope style stuff. Like you're going to do that stuff everywhere. So we got to get the staples and like the priorities in. And then later, once all that's dialed in, then we can work on bar spins, tail whips, cans, and whatever.
Yeah, it'll actually mean something if somebody's got good style in the game because they're actually doing it. It's their touch.
And some of these guys like Jax and Sutton and some of the, you know, Chill Clinton. There's a bunch of these OGs in here. Let's see if we can actually see who's in here right now. Yeah, so we got So a lot of OGs, Leon, Chill Clinton, Sutton, Hodge, our programmers in here. But a lot of these guys just got so much style, and all these transfer lines are so much fun.
It's so sick to watch so many people jumping through these at the same time.
Hey, Cam, one thing that's changed since the last time you were here, we had an awesome programmer before named Zach. He's still a part of our team, and this game wouldn't be where it is without him. But he kind of moved back to the Mad Skills motocross side of things. He's working on the mobile games with that company. And so we needed a programmer, and we brought in Michael Hodge, and he was making a PC game called Chasing the Dream, a motocross game called Chasing the Dream. We tried to partner with him with the Mad Skills games. We were going to do it Mad Skills Motocross Chasing the Dream. It was looking really good, but we couldn't get a publisher to give us enough money to do it, basically. So it unfortunately didn't work out. But then when we started this project and we needed a programmer, Joe knew who he wanted to go after, and he contacted Hodge, and we worked it out. We managed to steal him away from a police department, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He was working for the police department doing some IT stuff, yeah. And now he's just awesome at it. You know, obviously we'd love to have Zach back on the team as well too. We hope we will. But for now, he's just doing a great job, and you'll see him hanging out every week on these lives with us as well. So when you see Hodge, that's Michael Hodge, the main programmer of Cranked. Awesome game, by the way, too. We have read that blue Romania comment on YouTube before you go too far, Joe. I like that.
When Cam saw the dirt jumps, he smiled. I remember a clip of him laughing. What does it say?
And idle, and I think it says and laughing and riding at the post office spot in the good old days.
Yeah, post office.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Thanks for that comment. That's really cool, because honestly, as soon as you brought up, or you kind of navigated your way over to these jumps, that was when I first saw. I was like, oh my god, it looks like the post office jump. Or more relevant to today's times, it looks like Gorge Road dirt jumps or something. Just this labyrinth of perfectly sculpted rhythms.
Yeah, and I know Cedric wants to expand it. Like, you can see there's a berm right here that goes nowhere, so like that's going to become something. And then up here on the hill, up to the left, he wants to have like proper slope style, kind of like big slope style course that comes down. We could use that for competitions and other things.
So right now, this world we're looking at, is that like all the trails exist in the same place? You don't have to like skip through to different levels or anything like that. You can just navigate to different zones.
Yeah, the idea is that we're recreating what it's like to show up at a bike park and just like go ride. So you can see there's going to be different lifts. So
great.
These are just grayed out right now, but eventually like all these gray boxes will be the different chair lifts. They're going to take you up to the different parts of the different mountains. You'll unlock them in a different order. So like when you first start the game, you only have access to a certain part of the mountain. Then as you complete challenges, races, and slope styles runs and all kinds of stuff, you'll unlock more and more of the mountain, more bikes, more gear, and you kind of just explore this mountain and discover trails and just have fun and like ride, take the chairlift up with your buddy, have a good conversation, decide what you want to ride, go shred some trails on the way down, like stop at the coffee shop at the bottom and meet new people. Like, we just want to recreate what it's like to ride in real life and hang out at a bike park, basically.
That is so sick. It honestly reminds me of like real world Queenstown right now. Just the sparsity of trees, but then just the condensed nature of all these different types of riding and trails all in one tiny little packed in zone. And then majority of all the riders that you know in the world being there at the same time too, because it's summer down there right now.
Yeah.
You guys got the digital version of Queenstown ripping right now. It's Cranked.
And I'll show you, because you haven't seen, let me show you what the graphics will eventually look like. I'll come back into there. But you probably haven't seen this, but if we go to our demo map, this is more in line with like how things will look eventually. So you can see it's a lot more colorful, a lot more lush. There's going to be more trees, more bushes. It'll be more filled out and not as empty looking. But as we're like building trails now, you don't want to like fill it out too much, because then it becomes hard to build the trails. It's like in real life, you got to cut down the trees and make room for the trail. So we'll add all the trees and all that stuff later. Man, I've not ridden this. But yeah,
you wish you didn't add that tree right there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then this is a different map we have that was for the demo, but you can see I created a pretty ridiculous little like slope style course down here too, with wall rides and dirt jumps and whale tail. You even got like a little cave section here, a fun little tire ride.
Cave. So much.
Let's see if I can hit the quarter pipe at the bottom before you throw a little flare.
So when you're talking about having chairlifts and stuff like that, when people are in multiplayer mode and they're hooked into like the microphone and stuff like that, you will just be able to chat with people. Like you could just ride the lift and just be like chatting with somebody who's your friend who lives super far away, but you're out there like virtually riding together.
We want to have what they call proximity chat. So it kind of like in real life, if you're within like shouting distance of someone, you could talk to them. You know, obviously players have the option to turn that off if they don't want to be bothered. But yeah, the idea is that you would be able to like, just like if you see someone on the trail, be like, yo, dude, what's up? You know, and like start a conversation, maybe meet some new friends, meet some new riding buddies.
That's cool.
That's the plan.
I've got a good buddy who we're friends through biking, but he keeps in touch with a lot of his friends that don't live around here through the games that he plays. So he was explaining to me how that works. That was something I did not realize was a thing. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've met a ton of my like, real life friends just came from playing video games, which is kind of funny, but also from this community.
Yeah.
Like we've met so many people from the crank community now. I can't wait to go travel the world and like go to Wales and meet some people in the UK and all over. Seems like we have a ton of players in the UK.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
We got some questions for you, so I want to go pull those up real quick.
While you're doing that,
it's windy. Better watch it. Looks like it's a side wind. Careful.
Trees are blowing.
I'll address a couple of comments while you're pulling that up, Joe. First of all, if you're on the TikTok side of things, we're trying to kind of go a little easy on responding to comments today, just because we have Cam with us and we don't want to break things up too much. You just want to chill. Bird Shizzle is hanging out over on the TikTok side of things. We worked with him for years on Mad Skills Motocross. If he's responding to you, it's official-ish. I don't know how up to date. It's possible, Bird, that you're a little bit out of the loop on some of this stuff. I'm not positive, but he definitely is part of this team and knows what's up. So if he responds to you, it's kind of official. My son Julian, Cranked Intern, will probably be in the comments here in just a little bit, and when he is, he will also respond some, and we'll make some breaks here and there to respond to some comments too. One person mentioned, will you be able to build tracks eventually? And yes, modding is going to be the first way that you can build your own parks, your own tracks, whatever you want. You need a little bit of programming knowledge to do that, but eventually we would love to build an in-game track builder that's more accessible to everybody. So I'll answer that one for starters. Joe, you ready to?
Yeah. All right. What is this name? Decipher maybe? In our Discord, ask, what's the worst feeling on the bike for you? Like dead sailor, etc. And second question, well, that's the second one after you answer the first one. But yeah, what's the worst feeling on a bike for you?
I would say if you haven't ridden for a little bit and your brain is ahead of your body, you feel like you should be able to ride better than you are. It can be rewarding because, maybe the next day or maybe 2 days after, you get back to where you feel like you should be. But when you hop on the bike and it doesn't feel natural, that's just a horrible feeling because, you picture what you want to do, but your body's just kind of not responding as quick as you need it to. And then it's the best when it comes back.
How long do you need to be off your bike for you to have that feeling?
Man, sometimes it doesn't even, I wish it was more predictable like that. It can just depend on like what else you've been doing, like traveling. If I get back on my bike after traveling and not getting enough sleep, even if I rode the day before I took off for that trip, then the first time I hop on the bike and I'm like jet lagged and just, sleep deprived, the timing is all off. Yeah. And you're just not hitting your marks and you're not cornering well because your weight distribution's all whack. And that's the worst feeling on a bike. A lot of times it does come from sleep deprivation or jet lag for me personally.
I think I feel that way on a bike pretty much all the time. So,
hey, Cam, let me flip that question, Cam. What's the best feeling? Maybe that's a harder one to answer, but especially at this point in your career, what's the best feeling on a bike for you now?
Best feeling is like third run on the same trail.
Okay.
So like, let's just assume we're feeling good on the bike right now. And we've been riding every day and things are working. First run, there's, full of surprises. Second run, there's all these aha moments. And then third lap on the trail, you're hitting all your marks and it's tough to beat that. Fourth run is always a little bit of a letdown because third run was like packed with all the elements of being dialed, but also still being a little bit surprised.
Okay.
Fourth run, there's less surprises because you have it that much more locked in, but you're still chasing the dragon from that third run bliss.
That's a good
It's a
answer.
dope answer, man. Hell yeah.
The second question from Decipher was, what's your approach to very steep and short jumps?
Oh, yeah, let the lip do its thing. If you're fighting the lip, you're going to be fighting the ground at some point.
Uh-oh.
Speed is definitely your friend. And so on really steep, tight jumps, there is like there's a minimum speed to make those things work. You don't want to be having to push through a steep lip because then you're not going to be falling from the sky to then catch that steep transition and you're not going to have enough speed. So if you're staying low, you're never going to get up to that minimum speed to ride those jumps. If they're built properly and they're like 10-year-old trails or something like that, you know, you got to come in hot, you got to come in hot and go high. And let that lip put you high. Come into speed as everybody else who you're watching ride those trails and just up, down. And it is really lazy if they're built properly. If you feel like you're really intense, you're doing too much. Really steep technical trails should be really easy if you have the right speed and you're letting the timing do its thing.
I've noticed that like the better the trail builder, the easier it is to flow through the jumps.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
like
And like trails that are built wrong, if you're a good enough rider, can be fun too because then it keeps you on your toes. But
yeah,
I think this commenter is asking about like legit good, tight, steep dirt jumps. I think.
yeah. All right, I like that answer too. All right, Cool Cop asks, what's your favorite trail you've ever ridden?
Oh my God, I guess that's such a hard question. So without overthinking it and then pinning a bunch of great trails up against each other, how about the one that's just really fresh in my mind because I just wrote it the other day? But it's Snake Sizzler. I'm the worst at name, but it's the flow trail at Coronet Peak, the lift access park in Queenstown. Serpent. Something serpent. Spicy serpent. Squiggly serpent.
Okay.
It's something serpent. But it's all the best berms I've ever ridden in my life. They're so steep. They're actually like vert or maybe a little bit over vert.
Dang.
And I've never ridden berms, especially not at a bike park. You know, you think you're riding good berms at a bike park, but they have tons of braking bumps in them. They're kind of flat. You got to really be cognizant of setting up outside so that you aren't trying to corner too hard on berms that are not steep enough to hold you. But it's like a bobsled trail, this serpent trail at Cornet Peak. And the terrain there is just really rolly. There's a lot of like natural features to incorporate in the trail build. And they've cut into these little hillsides to build the berms in a lot of cases. There are some cases where they have to backfill and pull berms from the hillside and have them, up against the back end of a hillside and, stack the backs with rocks to give them support. But a lot of the berms are just cut into the hillside. So that's how they can manage getting them so steep. But it was, more so than just like how perfect the berms were shaped. It's just like the lines leading into them were perfect. And all these different side hits, you can gap from these lips and land into the embankment, throwing grass and dirt into your friend's face who's riding behind you. It was so much fun. It blew my mind how great that trail is. And now I understand why everybody goes there.
Man, I need to check that out.
Winter. I think it's called Dirt Serpent, if I'm not mistaken.
Dirt Serpent. There we go. Yeah, did you look it up online?
Yep, I did.
Yeah.
Dang. Do you got any videos dropping from that trip, McCam?
Not really. I didn't plan on producing anything out there because I was so busy with the job I was there to do.
Yeah.
And once I finished natural selection stuff there, then it was time to start doing my research for the Crankworks event. And so my buddy house who I was staying at, he's a doctor, and his schedule kind of sees him getting off at 1 some days. He gets off at 5 some days. So we basically packed in all the way until dark riding. So I would do my work, he'd get off of work, and then we would just go ride. You know how if you're gonna go filming, you're not actually
Yeah,
riding.
no.
And so for once in my life, I was like, I'm not filming anything. I'm just gonna go ride. And I think that's why it was such a good trip. We got like a
Nice.
couple little tiny iPhone clips just for the heck of it, but
Nice.
didn't film any like proper YouTube video or anything. Figured I'd
That,
try that on for size.
that's how I've been lately too. Like I used to, want to like film everything and late even like taking pictures and stuff. And lately I'm like just going out and just enjoying the moment, and not trying to capture any of it, just be in the moment and have fun with friends, Like I had a buddy come and we
I
did a little
agree.
climbing trip this week, and I maybe took like one roll of film photos, and other than that, I was just like out there having fun, enjoying it.
Yeah, I've always felt super guilty doing that. So I pretty much, that's probably why I never do that. I'm always trying to produce something and get content. But yeah, I have less sponsors right now, and I'm, trying to maintain my love for the sport. And so I have less deliverables for companies saying, "Where's your consistent YouTube videos?" But I'm pitching like a more formal travel show where it'll be like high production value, and every trip will be like a full on shoot. And that will be the balance, is trying to like have real experiences and capture them with a film crew. So we have like a pretty cool premise for the show, but like the time will come for creating content from trips. And this was just like a happy little window I feel like I have right now to be like, all right, if I'm ever going to be on a trip and just
Yeah,
ride and remember what that's like, it's now.
absolutely. Nice. I'm glad you had some time to just kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
glad you guys are riding that much. All I've been doing is shoveling snow lately. It's been awful here, man. It's terrible. It's finally starting to chill a little bit, so hopefully I'm riding again soon. But it's been
well, we're
terrible.
in windy season here in New Mexico, so I'll be shoveling sand a lot the next couple months, which is even worse, I think. And I
Yeah,
think with
sand doesn't
this,
melt.
no, and it's way heavy. It's ridiculous. Like I think we last year we probably did like 20 wheelbarrows of sand out of our yard, and we don't have a big yard, so it was gross. And out of the
That's
pool too. The pool
crazy.
just becomes a beach basically. We should just leave the sand in there and be like a sandy beach pool.
Yeah.
Um, I think
Yeah,
this.
that's the bummer between sand and snows. You can't like, you can be lazy with snow and just
Yeah,
wait for it to go away on its own. Sand is going to be there forever until you do something about it.
exactly. Uh, I think you're talking about your travel show, but all the S's in Discord had a question of, do you have any personal projects you are working on or thinking about? So I think that leads us into, if you want to talk more about the show, or you want to talk about your training platform or whatever. Tell us what you're working on these days, Cam.
Yeah, not too much to talk about the show yet because we've just been working on the pitch deck and the sizzle reel, and we have that in a good place now. So we're sending that around to brands for support. Not banking on the bike industry too much because the bike industry is in the shithole. And so yeah, looking at like great towns that are really building their mountain bike scene, so tourism boards, and then just other companies within the greater outdoor travel space, because even though bikes aren't selling and gear isn't selling as much as it was for a bit, there's no shortage of people riding. And
Yeah.
so to like be optimistic and look at how we can create something and shine a light on how mountain biking's popularity has grown, and more people are doing it now than ever, and there are more trails now than ever being built. That's the whole goal behind that. But the training platform is cool. It started as FMX Legends, and that was started by Adam Jones and Levi Sherwood. Adam
Nice.
Jones is from Nevada. Levi Sherwood is from New Zealand, and they're both just like multi-time X Games gold medalist guys. I had known them for a long time from back when I used to do Nitro Circus Live, and so they had contacted me about being the first mountain bike coach because they're planning on scaling FMX Legends into more sports. So they've renamed it now. It's called Edge Action Sports. And along with freestyle moto, they've got mountain bike, BMX, moto race, and skateboarding. So there's pretty much one coach right now for all those new sports. And it's a subscription based platform. And us as coaches will be creating these modules to kind of hold your hand and lead you through the process of learning everything from like the most rudimentary skills to soak up and get the most out of your trail riding experience, all the way up into tricks once you get to that point. So I had a lot of thought put into the way I want to do my courses. And, there's a lot of online learning material that exists on YouTube these days. So I was like, all right, what can I do that's going to set this apart from the rest? And my angle is I'm not going to be trying to teach you how to be the fastest racer or be the next rider on the slopestyle circuit quite yet. The goal for my courses is going to be like, let's get you these fundamental skills to where you can have the most fun on the trail. You see somebody like roosing over a corner. Well, there are like so many things that go into that. You have to know how to ride the corner efficiently first before you can come in, take the wrong line, and completely slide back tire and throw dirt over the top of it. So it'll be kind of piece by piece, how to be efficient on the trail. And then once you're efficient, how to like sauce it up, look for different lines, transfer lines where appropriate, manually in different sections. So I've done these little videos on Instagram that are like 3 different ways to ride this trail. So the goal of the tutorials will be like getting somebody who's a subscriber to the point where they can ride a trail efficiently and then start thinking outside the box and looking at ways where they can like, sauce it up a little bit and just, bring the recreation aspect into mountain biking, because that's why we ride. We're trying to enjoy this process here.
Adam Jones is a great dude. We watched, I of course watched him come up in my days at Racer X. I probably saw the first time, I saw him ride many, many times, but then Joe and I hung out with him at a nitro cross at Glen Helen one time. It was actually the last time I saw Ken Block. We hung out with Adam that day. He was there jumping, and they were doing the nitro thing at the freestyle thing at the nitro cross. It was super fun. It was cool. Really, really nice guy.
Yeah, he's always been a big.
Adam's awesome.
Big Mad Skills player too, so he's always helped us out.
Nice.
And, he was a big Mad. I mean, everybody in moto played at Mad Skills at one point or the other. Pretty much everybody did.
Yes.
So.
How much of
when I talk about Cranked, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the guys who were heavily involved in Mad Skills, and people just like, you say Mad Skills, everybody's just like, oh.
Yeah. Dude, we had a 250 million people play Mad Skills games. 250 million.
Wow.
That's insane. Pretty crazy. Those are big numbers.
Yeah. That is so cool.
How many of those videos for Edge have you made, and are you still working on it? Is it like an ongoing process?
I'm still working on it. Yeah, I want to have like a good stockpile of them before we really start. We started chatting in the winter time, and I had a couple things going on. I had some hardware removed from my leg. Then I started filming, and I got this weird like tendon injury in my hand, and I'm all back in action now. But like this 2 weeks that I have before I go back to New Zealand, I'm going to be filming them. But
nice.
I don't know if they put any of the videos on yet, but we kind of had a chat about it. I want to just like wait until it's like super dialed. Somebody almost did a double flip. When I have it super dialed, and I don't want it to be really disjointed, okay, cool, here we are with this backflip suicide no-hander tutorial, but we haven't even talked about like, some of the ways you can carry speed through a corner yet. So like build it up to where there's a big spectrum of skills, and you can kind of start in where most appropriate for you. So it's definitely a heavy grind to get to that point.
I bet. Yeah.
But we're not there yet. And so I think some of the sports are there. But the mountain bike thing, we had a chat, right? Just be transparent with everybody that like it's coming. We want to have enough videos to where a subscriber gets in and they're like, all right, cool. This is worth my time. This is worth my money. I want to really feel good about what exists there before I really start pushing it.
Love it.
If you ever need an intermediate test subject to try to train and film some content on, let me know. Maybe I'll fly out there.
Hell yeah. No, that would be awesome. I think that's a really good way to do the videos too, is because somebody can kind of see real world examples from somebody who's in a similar spot as them. I think that type of tutorial video is super valuable.
Let's see, what other question? Chill Clinton, one of our OG members, asked, and this one I think would be interesting, and you've probably been asked this question a few times recently, and maybe it's a little bit of a sensitive topic, but is it time to update Rampage judging criteria to prioritize style and creative line choice over doing the biggest tricks?
I think the venue really polices that. I think it's less judging and it's more venues. So when we're going back to repeat venues that have held the event 3, 4, 5 times, well, guess what? The
Yeah.
ante is going to be upped every time you're going to an old venue and not tapping into new terrain. The judges are going to still, be rewarding the best runs that go down. But if you had a venue that was fresh, then the best stuff that goes down may not be a double flip attempt off of a step down. I think stuff like that is the product of just like constant progression and like, there's a lot of positives to riders being super comfortable to the point where they feel like they can push themselves that far. But if the venue's new, you're going to see the judges rewarding the line choice more heavily because just quite frankly, the tricks won't be on the level of what you're expecting from Rampage these days based on how much it's progressed in the past few years, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know, is this year going back to a new spot or is it going to a new spot or back to an existing one? Do you know?
That's not solidified yet.
Gotcha.
They're still working on figuring that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I agree with you, man. It's something that is what a lot of the viewers love the most about Rampage is just watching riders open up new lines and make it mountain rideable. But when there's like 15 established lines already at a venue, the event changes because it isn't about that anymore.
I think I like watching the women's runs now almost even more. Like I don't know, it's fun seeing what they're doing and the lines they're creating and that. And I've always liked I'm curious what your opinion is on this, but my style, like my favorite riders have always been the ones that, not the ones doing like maybe the fastest, craziest triple tail whip to bar spin or whatever, but more just like these huge, big, stylish held turn downs or like tables. And I don't know. Do you have a preference when you're kind of watching these events or a favorite or like?
I would say you'd really love watching natural selection because it is a lot about the style and the lines are so long and there are kind of trail sections in between the trickable features. And a lot of times, even in some of the best runs, the riders aren't trying to just squeeze in as many tricks as possible. They're thinking about boosting, they're thinking about transferring, making it just making it look good without only being focused on the trick tally.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you. Yeah, I love watching somebody just make a trail or a line look good, and that's the type of stuff that makes you want to get on your bike too.
Absolutely. I think that like some of my favorite clips of you are those ones where you do how can I ride this like 3 different ways, and I mean it's fun because you like see the progression and your style just on riding a regular trail is insane. Like I look at that trail before you hit it and I'm like I can maybe imagine 3 ways, and then you do it and I'm like holy shit. Like
when I watch those, like the first one you do is always like the longest stretch goal that I might be able to do one day, and then you progress to the ones that I'll never touch in my whole life.
Well, thanks. That's I've found myself enjoying that type of riding a lot more now too, and so I find it fun to make content about that type of riding. It's what I get the most out of these days, and especially on this last trip where I was just riding for fun and not filming. I was just able to do the riding I want to do, and you lap the same trail multiple times. You get an idea one lap, and then when you find yourself at that section the next time, you're looking at that spot you think you might be able to land, and you're pulling from that takeoff and seeing if you can hip into this like new little pile of fresh dirt, and like that's the really rewarding stuff. I enjoy that a lot these days.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, your mom wants to know if you will show your sister your favorite track so she can see you crushing it.
Show my sister.
Yeah, Vanessa wants to know.
Oh, yeah, here we go. We're on Death Grip, a new one.
Yeah.
I forgot that she was A lot of people would think this was a joke. Like, hey, your mom wants you to show your sister. It's like, no, my mom's actually in chat, and she's at my sister's house right now.
I'm a nice person. I wouldn't do that to you, Joe. I'm
I know, Birch, I would.
Yeah, Birch would do it, for sure. I might do it off of the stream potentially, but no, I wouldn't do that, Karen. I would never do it with your mom joke. Everything I say about you ever is good.
That is true.
It is true.
Yeah, we'll rip this new trail called Death Grip. Oh man, I had something I wanted to say, but now I forget. That's okay. We have a last I think we have 2 more questions. Can I read a question and ride at the same time? Probably not, but we're gonna try.
I was gonna say, I bet you I know why you forgot what you were gonna say. You're doing like 12 things right now.
Yeah, I can bring up the questions and go if you want me to.
I got it here. McCaul, one of our OGs. I crashed it. Perfect timing. Is there anything you think is currently missing from the mountain bike circuit, event types, or otherwise?
That's a good question, man. Yeah, a really good mountain bike travel show that shows you all the things you want to do when you go ride. Exactly.
Perfect.
Dude, I would watch every episode.
Same.
If you looked at my YouTube algorithm, you would see mountain bike videos. You would see 3 things: mountain bike videos, travel stuff, and high-ren reaction videos. Those are the 3 things you'd see if you saw my algorithm.
That's awesome.
Cam, have you seen the high-ren video?
No, what is that?
You have to just watch it. Just search for High Ren on YouTube and watch if you haven't seen it.
How do you spell High Ren?
Like Hiren. It's an artist, a musician named Ren, and he did a song called High Ren. He did a video, like a live video performance of it years ago. That's brilliant, a couple years ago. And I love to watch people react to it because my initial reaction was so strong that the only way I can kind of relive it is when I see other people. So that's my algorithm. Those 3 things: mountain bike videos and travel shows and High Ren.
Oh my gosh, man! 66 million views 3 years ago. But if I start there, I'll save it to watch later.
Yeah,
and then that will open up the rabbit hole for me to be in this world that your algorithm is serving up to you.
There you go. And then text us on our group chat, Cam. Let me know what you think of whenever you watch it. But only watch it when you can focus on it. You got to watch it when you can pay attention to it. That's all I have 100%. To say.
That's why I hit save to watch later. My favorite feature of YouTube.
Dude, I love it. Same.
Perfect.
Okay, we have another last question on Discord here was from Tom, and he asked, "What's your favorite bike park?"
Oh my god, I'm just so tainted by my great experience I just came off. I can't say Cornet Peak because there's only 2 trails, pretty much.
Oh man!
But it was like my best bike park experience in a really long time. You know, I guess the bike park I have the most experience in is Whistler because I've been going there for so long. But there was something about just the trail layout of those trails at Cornet Peak, just how every feature brought you in with the perfect speed. And even like the Chundry sections of the downhill race trail had rhythm to them if you could find the rhythm. Like in the same way as what you're doing on this trail right here. You're a little off rhythm. I'm going to call you out for that right now. But when you do hop in and you're like making backside out of boulders and like turning boulders into a rhythm section and finding speed off the backside of them, you're like, that feels so good. You know how wrong things can go if you put your wheel in the wrong spot, but you just like flattened out the section and made it feel like a cloud. Like I love that feeling. So now Cornet Peak.
All right, there you go. I'm excited to hit some bike parks this year. Have you ever been to Angel Fire in New Mexico?
Never.
No, that's the closest one to me. It's probably like 6-7 hours. New Mexico's huge. I'm on the south side, and that's on the north end. But I want to hit that a couple times this year. You know, Brian and I are trying to go to Whistler. We'll most likely be there, so it'll be fun to ride that for the first time. You'll be there too for Crankwork, so it'd be nice to meet up, do a lap together.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll be able to like keep up for the first 4 seconds, but otherwise it'll be fun.
That's why you stop a few times throughout the run.
Yeah,
group
exactly.
Ride. It's always a group ride if you just have stopping points.
Oh man, I'm screwing these runs up.
I'd actually be impressed if you kept up for 4 seconds, to be honest.
That's true. If I get a 4 second head start, I can keep up for 4 seconds. Let's see. I did ask some people online if they had any questions. I just want to see if anyone left any comments here. Wow, these guys are ripping some trails. What do we got here? Just questions about the game. I think we probably hit most of the questions that I saw. Now we can just hang out and chat about whatever we want.
Someone must have said 6'7" because Birdshaw did the whole 6'7" thing. But there was a time when if we would have accidentally said that, the whole chat would have blown up. It's obviously come and gone.
Yeah, 12-year-old daughter, 9-year-old daughter, our house, everything stops as soon as somebody says 6'7". Yes, I get you.
Has it died down yet, or are they still doing it?
No, just yesterday it was great. I forget which one of them said it, but the other one was like, "Come on, that's so old now. We don't even do that anymore." And I'm in the corner like this. Yes.
All we have to do is the three of us need to say it a bunch of times, and then none of the kids will want to have anything to do with it.
They're starting to they're starting to call us Unc and stuff, you know. So it's like, you know, I did
For sure. It's like I've tried that tactic with my daughters too. Like I'll start pretending like I think something's cool just to kill it.
There you go.
Oh, I see Julian's over. My son Julian's over in the TikTok chat side of things. He's cranked intern. So apologies that we haven't been paying as much attention to chat today. Just kind of because we have Cam hanging and we wanted to chill a little bit. So if Julian answers anything, he knows totally what's up for sure.
We did have over 100 over there. It died a little bit. So if any of you guys on TikTok feel like sharing the stream, we would appreciate it. But we're just hanging out. I might go back and show you guys some of the new physics changes here again in a bit. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out in the multiplayer server. If you guys are part of the Patreon, definitely hop in right now and join the multiplayer server. We got 11 people in here playing Death Grip, but if we can get more is more fun.
Joe, let's talk a little bit more about maybe some more tweaks that you want to have coming up, especially because we have Cam here. And when you're dealing with physics tweaks and stuff, it's interesting to get his take. Is there anything else that's on your list of things that you think you might approach in the coming days to see if you can improve them?
Yeah, I think one of the next thing, because right now in the game, the only difference in surface types that you can feel is this dirt and the grass. Everything else feels the same. So one of the things I want to try to tackle soon is different surface, like friction values, and make stuff try to feel different. So you can have like hard packed dirt, loose dirt, gravel, grass, loam, mud, all these kind of different surfaces that you ride in real life, and try to have them all feel a little bit different to make these trails have more variety. Also able to like have kind of where, the main lines in the middle of the trails, like a darker colored dirt will be a little more grippy, where like the outer lines that's still kind of loose and not as packed in would be like maybe a different color and be a little less grippy as I go off trail. So that's one of the things I want to do next, I think. But curious, as you've been kind of watching and you've played a little bit, Cam, is there anything like glaring issues to you that just like looks like needs to be addressed or fixed or improved?
Nothing glaring now. I'm mostly just like blown away with how much it's changed since last time. And then you dialed me in with the newest version now. And so, yeah, I'm in the cave of trying to get caught up on things right now. But look, I've got my thing ready to rip here for when I get a sec to actually experience it and ride at a way lower level than you are right now. You guys will laugh at how rookie I am when you see me play, but it's like a real trail. That third lap, you start getting better.
There you go. Exactly. That's what's fun about Cranked, is like grinding times, playing the same trail over and over, and just like seeing your times kind of get down and lower.
Which is the most mad skills thing about this game, really, because that's, Cam, I don't know how much, I know you played some mad skills, but that's kind of what it is, really, in a lot of ways, is dialing a track in, trying to climb the leaderboards, etc. And it's so similar in Cranked, so similar.
That's what's up.
One thing we've worked really hard to do that other mountain bike games don't do is have tech and stuff. So like this trail is a good example. It's very rocky, like so many rock gardens, lots of roots, but so many other games it's just perfectly smooth, like dirt colored roads, basically. And that's, as you know,
it's smart, because that's why most people ride because they want to go like challenge themselves on tech.
Exactly.
And so there's probably a lot of people who would pick up a game that gives that feeling.
Yeah, because mountain biking is not always on smooth groomed trails. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not. And my favorite types of trails are definitely not the smooth groomed trails. What did Makai just say? The game view on stream is larger than the overlay box. I don't know. I'll go check something. Let me go peek.
Another thing about doing tech well, when you have a game that's about blitzing the leaderboards, is every little rock, every route becomes a variable that can impact your overall time. So if it is a game with a dynamic of climbing a leaderboard, the more that good tech you do, the more separation you're going to have from the top of the leaderboard all the way down to the bottom. And it's just it feeds into that dynamic very well.
Makes
Besides
sense.
being realistic. Yeah.
Did go-karting yesterday, and that was the jam. That's the jam there with go-karting. You're like, all right, I got to shave off that 10th of a second. Where am I going to find that?
Sweet. Where'd you go? Where did you drive go-karts?
There's a K1 speed right down the street.
Nice.
And so that's pretty convenient. And had a good buddy in town from the East Coast, and his flight got canceled because of all the storms. So we had some extra time to kill, so we went go-karting.
That's fun.
Oh, I got you. His flight home got canceled. That's way better than he couldn't come home.
Got canceled. Exactly. Yeah, he made it here. He wasn't able to get home, so he was stuck in Bend for a bit. So we're like, all right, let's go go-karting.
Nice.
Do you want to fix up scrubs? You can see you can scrub a little bit and you can whip and stuff, but you need to make them better. I want to make them pretty OP. So, if you want to like really grease a landing, just scrub it hard and stay low. But you get into a flow in this game.
So funny. You can just tune out watching somebody else play for so long.
Oh, that stupid rock always gets me. What's your what kind of trail would you like to see in the game? Like, what would be your favorite style? Would you prefer techie like this or dirt? Okay, let's go. I could go find something that's, I mean, probably not, but let's see. What do we have that would be the closest? I don't know. Was it a jump trail or was it mostly just berms?
Mostly berms. Yeah, like
right,
the jumps are kind of what you make out of them. It's like, oh, you can gap from here. Like there will be like the occasional challenge gap. Like maybe this lip exists here and you're supposed to land on the obvious spot, but there's a embankment off in the distance, so you can come in hot and pull.
Like right here. You ready?
A lot of
step down into this
hip
berm?
transfer lines. Yeah, exactly. You can kind of pop and find your own landing. You know how like you can get into like the rally turn where you're like, some people call it the scando flip. You're setting up the opposite direction, so then you just slingshot in. Are you able to do that in the game? And if so, do you get the same
funny you should ask
benefits of doing that as you do in real life?
So that's what I started working on yesterday.
Cool.
And I can show you a little bit. It's a work in progress, and we gotta hone it in. The problem with like physics in a video game is, the controller's only so big. There's only so many buttons. So trying to like cram all these different features and mechanics and not having them overlap and like affecting the other things becomes kind of difficult. But let's go show you kind of where it sits right now and get your feedback here.
And you got to have the right corner for it too. So it's like, I present that question, but as you're riding the trail, it's like, whoa, a section of trail has to pop up that is a good candidate for that type of riding. Oh yeah, but you switch to this camera mode so you can actually see that. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I need to dial it in, but yeah, you can definitely like in the old version, you couldn't even like do that. Like you can now kind of like kick out the back end and I find it easier for me to do in this view, but then it's like, it's harder to see what's actually happening. But yeah, you can, because what you're supposed to do it the opposite way, and then it kind of slingshot you into the correct turn. Is that the idea?
100%. Yeah. Instead of just trying to lean over and make a turn out of nothing, it's that whole equal and opposite reaction type of physics dealio, where if you do it at the right timing, and especially if you happen to find something on the pre-turn to kind of bank against, and then it just flings your rear end out the direction of the main corner, and then you almost just G-force connect right into the berm or the rut or whatever you're trying to get into.
I wonder if this trail has this like little berm section that might work for it. But yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out yesterday. Which trail is it? I think it's...
Cam, any more details you have about what this is like to ride and what it should feel like? We can kind of come back to the replay of this and get what you say out of it and kind of make sure that we're keeping it in mind as we try to tune it. So just keep that in mind. Anything you say to us now, we'll be able to factor it in as we try to make it right.
Yeah, sick. I'll say things as I think of them. I definitely will make sure to not just say something just to say it.
Great. No, I mean, I just mean you're so good at describing it. The way you describe what something feels like to ride is amazing. And but
That's
it's
magic
also,
when you get one of those
also
scandal
helpful.
flicks right.
Yeah.
That's
All
cool.
right.
See, like this is just like
Oh.
railing those berms just feels so good.
Yeah.
Big old drop.
Nice.
Ooh, I like how like there's not an obvious rhythm through that rock garden, and it actually really slowed you down, right? Because you're hitting those square edges.
Yep.
You can see like you weren't on the brakes right there, were you?
No.
Yeah, you were just getting slowed down by the square edge rocks, which is realistic.
Yeah, the Scandi flip's gonna be hard. It's hard to find the right place to try it too. Like I want this berm to work, but I come into it too fast. Let me see if I slow down ahead of it. Like, kinda.
And that's the thing, right? Like if you try to, even in real life, if you try to utilize that skill just to use it, and it's not in a section of trail that needs it, then it's going to turn out worse than if you just rode the main line.
Yeah. Oh,
every time I
wrong way.
watch you play, I realize how bad I suck at this game compared
Dude,
to
and then I watch the top guys and I think I suck.
I still have a blast playing it, but I'm not very fast. Hey Cam, how's Space Mesa doing? Your band? You guys got any gigs coming up? You written any new music? What's happening over on that side?
We've definitely been like writing stuff. Dusty's been in Puerto Rico most of the winter, and when I got home, or sorry, when he got home, that's right about when I left again. But I'm gonna drive over to our buddy's house, Josh, who's our bass player. I'm gonna drive over there tomorrow. It's like 3.5 hours away in Pacific City, Oregon. So I'm gonna help them with some trail building. So the next couple of days this weekend, it's gonna be trail building. We'll probably be putting in like 8 hours of digging, and then evenings playing music. So it'll be the first time that we're all in the same room together for a really long time. And Dusty and I, we wrote one complete song while he was in Puerto Rico. He sent me an iPhone recording, and then I threw it into Logic and added stuff and then sent it back to him. So we have something to try playing in real life that we haven't actually done yet, you know? So, and we've been sending stuff to Josh. So he's been like figuring out his parts. So yeah, the next couple of days will be fun getting to hang out with those guys. And we'll have 3/4 of Space Mesa. We'll have all but the drummer, but the drummer left his drums at Josh's house. And so we have those. And then he will return to Pacific City to do trail work in April. So hoping we'll find some windows in the springtime to where we can get together and play. And the main goal would be to like play something here in Bend. So get dialed. It'll be the first time that all 4 Space Masons are in Oregon, like living in Oregon. So that'll be cool.
You play drums too, don't you?
I do, yeah. So we'll be able to work out the bones of some songs with just the 3 of us.
I saw a video of you playing drums recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw. Yeah. I sent it to Joe, and I was like, "Oh, it's Cam on drums right there. That's cool."
Yeah, that's like how you can work out pieces of a song when none of the other people in your band are around. So I'll put a riff in a looper pedal, then I'll take it over to where the drums live and just like feed that looper pedal into the amp, and then just drum along to it and see if I can find something that works. And then I film it with the phone and send that to everybody else, and they can learn the parts. And it's just fun too to like play along to loud guitar in a room by yourself where there's no actual guitarist.
Right. Somebody wants us to, who is a secret cyborg, really wants us to play the song Hope by Alexander Hibbs. I don't know what that is. But we've been seeing
Nice.
this a number of times, so I may have to try to. All right, dude, I'm going to write it down and see what you're talking about. Let's check it out. I'm always down with
Yeah,
discovering new music.
new music tip. I like it. What is it called again? I'll look it up.
Hope by Alexander Hibbs. Do you know Alexander Hibbs, dude? Is that one of the reasons? Or is the song move you? What makes you really want us to listen to Hope? Let us know.
Also, we haven't really taken any questions directly from chat. So if you guys have questions for Cam or for us, the game, whatever, throw those in chat. We're gonna run for about 45 more minutes. Cam, if you got to run at any time, feel free as well.
What if it's actually Alexander Hibbs who's telling us we should listen to his song?
It's almost cooler if it is. In that case, I really want to come through. Yeah, because he's hustling if that's the case, man. Dude's working it if that's the case. Or his dad.
Love it.
That would be kind of cool too. It's on TikTok, so it's probably not his dad, but it could be. You never know.
We got Anthony asking us to add bike customization. Bike customization is in the plans. That'll come a lot later. That's a low priority, in terms of like getting the rest of the game done. The physics got to be dialed. We need to get the core loop in there. But yeah, bike customization's coming. We just signed on with another bike brand. I won't say who, but we've got a new bike brand coming into the game soon. They'll send me some files, and then we'll start making those bikes. So yeah, a lot of things cooking and in the works. But we'll have bike customization.
Mackay's interested in Cam's take on your Wales track, Joe.
Let's go try it.
You showed it to him before, because I think you sent it on our group text at one point. It was the first time Cam saw it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'll go do it with
the new.
When
are you guys unveiling the news about the next bike brand in there? It's probably after you've dialed it all in and you have it to show, huh?
Yeah, if we wanted to, we could mention it now because it's.
No, you don't have to. I was gonna mark the date on the calendar so I can pay attention.
Oh, I don't know if we have a date yet, but
yeah,
I'll let you know when it gets closer. But I'm excited for that.
I just got the message from Joe yesterday. I think that he nailed this. He got this done. So it's fresh, Cam. It's brand new.
That's cool.
Andre Downhill on TikTok wants to say hi to you, Cam. So Andre says hi.
Andre, what's up, Andre? What's shaking?
Tom Morellato's in here. Is that like Tom Morello, kind of, sort of?
Tom Morello is going on tour with Bruce Springsteen. I'm saying, did you hear that?
That's crazy.
Oh, that's cool. I did not. Yeah,
I just got tickets a couple days ago to see Bruce because I've never seen him before, and Tom Morello is going to be on tour with him. I think that was my understanding.
That's cool. I feel like the like solo acoustic thing that Tom Morello does, which I think he calls the Night Watchman or something like that, is like heavily Springsteen influenced. So that'll be kind of cool that they're going to tour together. I wonder if he's doing like loud Tom Morello stuff or more subdued Night Watchman stuff. It'll be interesting to see.
I'm going to guess he's bending more toward Bruce than the other way around. That's my guess.
Yeah.
My guess is Tom's doing more Bruce's style and then the other way around, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Cam, have you been to Hardline Wales? Have you ridden the track? Have you track walked it? What's your history with Hardline Wales? No
history with that one. Nope, never been there.
Are you pretty familiar with the course?
I've watched just as familiar as anybody else who's watched the races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did get in there today, and I saw that you have the huge green crazy canyon gap that was removed from the course. I saw that lives there.
Yeah, I threw that in recently. That trail probably needs some love, and our artist needs to get in here and make it look a little better. But I'll go hit that here in a second. Here's the on-off into the 90-footers.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I think we need to give Joe some props on. You guys got to understand, he didn't even know how to do this stuff. And he just decided he wanted to build this trail. This is like it's like the first song you ever wrote was, I don't know, whatever, it was like an amazing song that everybody likes. I'm super impressed you pulled it off, Joe.
Thanks, dude.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I want to just real quick.
What an undertaking. Oh, then this is coming into the road gap, I think, probably here.
Yeah, you know it.
I think I recognize that like right-hand corner area.
We're good with
way,
leaving
that's
the road
cool.
gap in. Yeah, we got the road gap in here. No problem. Nobody's gonna get hurt.
I can't believe it was like that right hander that was really sandwiched between those two
Yep.
rock walls. I recognize that. That's what a huge undertaking to design all this, to mimic. It's probably easier to design something from scratch than it is to mimic something that is so well known.
Yeah, replicas are tough, but we'd had some train data from a community member that was helped us out with it. So a lot of it, anywhere that there wasn't trees, wasn't horrible to make. I mean, there's still a lot of work that went into it, obviously, but
Damn, that's cool.
And I just want to say, I just got a 223.9. If we go over here and we look at the results for the official last year, I got what did I just say? I got 223.9.
223.9.
Ace, I got a 224.4. So the track is like on par with the real thing.
Anytime anybody asks how's Crank different than other games that exist, this to me is the best answer that there is. Like show me somewhere else where that's happening. I just don't think you'll find it. Hey Cam, I want to let you follow up, Cam.
Legendary racetracks. Like, wow.
The Andre guy said hi to you, Cam. Wants you to know that he said I'm good. He's a big fan, and you're so good. He just wants to give you full props. He's stoked about it.
Thanks, Andre. You the man.
Mario thinks the game is super addictive to watch. Mario, I'm kind of with you, brother. Like I spend more time sometimes watching it than I do playing it myself because it's easy to watch. So that kind of bodes well for possible esports future, I would say. It could happen like that way.
This spot's sketchy with the new
Especially
physics.
since, the race, it's so hard to like get a clean run, and then the race time is so similar to a perfect run from a real life race. That's crazy. That's probably the best part.
And then Joe,
So that 223.9 that you got, that was just then. You just hit a clean top to bottom, and you're still on whales right now, right?
Yeah. Oh, I was trying to get to the canyon gap. Oh no, I messed it up.
Oh, gotcha.
We're gonna cheat. We're gonna cheat.
Yeah.
Just so you guys can see the canyon gap.
Yeah, so I
Also,
went
Joe-
drone mode and was hovering around. That's how I knew it was there. I found it.
Nice.
Oh, dude, here we go. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, Brian.
No, that's okay,
Oh.
Joe. I just wanted to say, Jim, who's hanging with us on TikTok, thinks the game looks dope, and he wants to know if you could show him the bike. So when you crash, show him the Frameworks bike that we have in the game.
I got you right here. Let's hit a 90 footer and pause midair. You know, like a little
Jim,
steezy.
to say we were stoked when because Frameworks was the first
There
brand
you
we
go.
worked with. We were so stoked when we pulled off the Frameworks thing. I mean, I just think it's the coolest bike. I love it.
Look, he's got a little foot flow going. Look, his left foot is
Yeah.
kind of hanging off the pedal. That's what's up, dude. No way.
Let's see. Let me and then he just drops out of midair. But let's get a better view for you right here.
Cam, you're looking for a new bike. Have you ridden that downhill bike yet? The Frameworks downhill bike yet?
Man, those are hard to get a hold of. Those are like, you're like pretty cool if you got one of those. I've never ridden one of those.
Even if you're in line to order one for when they do a drop, you're lucky to get one in that case. They sell out so fast. It's ridiculous, man. Those guys are
Absolutely. I
crushing
saw that they just sold out in like a day or
It was
whatever
crazy.
yeah.
from the batch. Now, I got
Good
all the
for them.
respect in the world for Nico and those guys and what they're doing. I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
Same.
Oh, we think we're trying to do our business the same way they do what they do. You know, we're trying to
Yeah.
build this thing in public and make all of our decisions about what's going to make it good. Never a decision that is designed for some other reason than making the best thing that we can make. So we're really like moved by the approach that they take, and that's why initially we wanted to work with them. It wasn't because we thought they were
Yeah.
the biggest. They're not. It was because we thought they were the most aligned with what we're trying to do too. So it was a good fit.
They're the coolest.
They are
And
the
that's
coolest.
I think another brand that I feel like is very similar and I have, same amount of respect for is Atherton bikes. I feel like they're doing a lot of cool
Atherton
stuff.
bikes as well. 100% agree.
For
They'd be a
sure.
good fit. They'd be a good fit in this game.
And Dan
Makes a lot of
Atherton and
sense.
G, they built this track.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw a couple of those bikes in New Zealand too, and like, do you see a Frameworks or you see
Oh.
Atherton? They stand out. You're like, whoa.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Atherton bikes, you can order them with custom geometry, I think too, because they've
Dude.
got the lugs and you just order your tubes. to
22
whatever
sizes.
spec you like. Yeah, that's
20,
crazy.
22 sizes for the carbon ones, and they have, I think, 11 or 12 sizes for the alloy ones, something like that. Like it's basically custom sizing. You know, most bike brands maybe have 4 or 5 sizes. They've got 22 or
For sure.
something. Like, it's crazy.
I had a good lap, or maybe 2 good laps with Dan in Whistler last year. I was riding with my brother. My chain snapped. I'm like, oh, do I go and like fix my chain? He's like, just coast chainless. So I was coasting chainless laps, trying to keep up with my brother, and then we ended up with Dan and his buddy Jim Monroe, who rides for them. He rides at Atherton as well. And so I hadn't seen Dan in so long. We did a couple laps. It was so good to see him. It was so good to like try to keep up. Like trying to keep up with Dan Atherton with a chain is like, no way. Without a chain, you're like, oh my God, how is this impossible? But to just get to ride together was sick.
Nice. That's cool.
Have you ever ridden his bike park, Duffy?
Never been there. Never been to Dovey.
So I've heard, multiple people, including, a guy in our community who's been there. I was talking to him yesterday in voice chat. Multiple people saying it's the best bike park in the world.
Oh, that's sick.
So I need to get out there.
That dude Jim grew up out there. He was like their Grom. Now he's all grown up ripping. The Dovey Grom, the first Dovey Grom.
It looks sick. Problem is, it probably rains like 98% of the time. But.
Right.
I see Hayden Freres hanging with us again in TikTok. What's up, bud? Good to see you back, man.
Road gap, little whip for you.
Boom.
Manny, the pad right here. Can I? Oh, nope. See, you try to get cocky, and then that's what happens. You go off track.
No. I thought you came back in at the right spot to not have a track field notification.
I filled way earlier. This has been
you filled way before. Okay.
Yeah. I was just keeping it going.
Hey, I should do a quick rundown on the game and what the deal is. We haven't done that yet this whole stream. So this is Cranked. It's being developed by Session Syndicate, which is a small company that Joe and I are 2 of the founders of. It was started by some of the OG crew from Mad Skills Motocross and those mobile games, if you know them. Our company is called Session Syndicate. We're making Cranked. It is self-funded. We all just got as much money as any of us could. We went broke, and we put all of our money into the company. And now we're in the process of trying to raise some more money because we've kind of run out of our initial money. But that's going well as well. We're developing this thing in public. It's still in pre-alpha. We are moving quickly. Our main developer is Michael Hodge. He was working on the PC motocross game Chasing the Dream, and we're being supported also by really thousands of players who are either playing the free play test on Steam, and anybody can go get the free play test on Steam right now and check this game out. It's early, but it's still really fun already. Just go search for Cranked and hit the request play test button, and you'll get it immediately. There's no approval process. Or better, you can support us on Patreon, and it's only $5 a month. If you accumulate 50 over time, you'll get a key for the game anyway. So it's almost like buying it in installments, but you'll get everything we release across the board throughout. And anything that's released during a month where your subscription is active, you'll get to keep that stuff. So it's usually like at least 3 builds that you get. And there's so many tracks. What do we have right now? How many like raceable tracks and how many other tracks do we have in the open world, Joe?
I mean, open world, maybe there's 10 raceable, maybe 10 or 12 non-raceable. You've got, 4 or 5 raceable in the demo map. You've got 2 raceable in the Wales map. So there's over 20 now.
So one of the cool things about our project is that we make every decision that we make based on whether we think it's going to make the game good. That's kind of the whole approach we're taking, and we're going to let that be the thing that dictates how we move forward. But also, we've been making games for a long time. Joe knows what he wants to create. He's the game lead. This is his idea, and he is our North Star. We're following Joe through this thing. And because he has such a good plan and he understands what he's trying to do, and I think he's really good at putting first things first and not trying to solve issues that should be down the road, it's progressing quickly. So when you subscribe to us and you hang out with us on our Discord and do the Patreon and get the full world, you'll see we have significant change in this game very regularly. Sometimes you'll get a new build week after week, and each build is meaningful, and we do it for a good reason. So we hope you guys will consider hanging with us. Consider supporting us on Patreon, or at least get the free version on Steam. Try that. Wish list us while you're there if you would, because that's very helpful. and hang out with us on Discord. And Joe especially is super active there. I've been less active lately because I'm really busy professionally, but I'll get back there eventually. And every now and then we do fun things like we have Cam McCaul, our buddy, hang out with us on our live stream, and we want to do some more cool things with you in the future, Cam. We want to do. We've talked about some ideas offline, and we're wide open about doing some things with you in the future, and hope we get to.
I want to talk to you about the
So
idea
down,
I
yeah.
have.
I'm such a big fan of what you guys are doing, as always, and so the future is bright with what you guys have coming down the pipe, and so I can't wait to just be a fan of it, but also be involved as much as I can. I'm actually just logged into the game right now, but I think my computer might be pissed.
I did want to talk to you before we got to go, Cam, about my ideas. And one thing we do here at Session Syndicate and on Cranked is like just kind of discuss stuff openly in the open and not really do closed meetings. So I hope you don't mind if I just share some ideas of how we could get your why am I forgetting the name? What's the name of your training program again coming out?
Edge Action Sports.
Edge.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So if anyone played Mad Skills Motocross 3, in that game we partnered with a company called the MX Factory with Tyler Livesey, awesome guy. And he, his whole goal for the MX Factory is to make people safer riders. So he's got a huge training program, make people safer riders, faster riders. But, good guy. We've gone out into Austin and he taught me how to ride moto a little bit. And what we did was we put them in the game, and he's in the game, Mad Skills Motocross 3, to be like the tutorial agent that teaches people how to play the game. Just like he teaches people how to ride in real life, we were like, well, let's have him teach people how to play the game. So it's all branded with MX Factory stuff. There's all these different tutorial missions you can do and unlock all this special MX Factory gear. And it was the second most played mode in that game. So I was thinking it would be fun if we did something similar with Edge and you and Cranked. Like we've got the beginner area. This is going to be the first lift will take you to kind of like the beginner area where most will be greens and blues. And that's where we'll teach people the basics of the game, like how to pedal, how to steer, how to hit berms, how to jump, like flips and just all the basics. But I thought it'd be kind of fun if it was just branded. Maybe we put you in the game, Cam, and it's all branded with Edge stuff. That whole section could have kind of your guys' branding on it. No money exchanging hands here. It's just like helping each other out and doing a cool thing. And that was my idea. So anyway, see what you think.
Super down. Yeah. I'll run it by Adam. I'm sure he'd be stoked on that. And then you would just have to agree to school me before I get certified to school anybody.
For sure. But yeah, I know we've been friends with Adam too. So I think it'd be awesome to work with him. Yeah, it'd be fun to work together.
Said what's up? I haven't talked to him in a while.
I will. He'd probably have fun playing this too, since you say he was an old Mad Skills player.
Yeah.
And I think that's another good collab right there, right? Like people doing cool things and coming together to promote these new ventures. And there's definitely parallels there. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, and we could make some cool Edge gear for the game. So when people complete part of those tutorials, they unlock some like sick gear that they can ride.
That's a good idea.
I think it'd be fun.
Video game, man. It'd be fun. I'm gonna get a video game version of you made at some point here, Cam. We'll send it over. We'll do a quick proof of what it might look like. That'd be kind of fun.
Have you ever been in a video game?
Good, if people end up pushing themselves a little too hard on the real bike, and they can't wait to get back on, well, they can take their Edge subscription learning over to the digital realm.
There you go.
Until they're back on the bike.
I think that was something else we did with MX Factory. Like we had a link to their program in the game, and I think if they used the link in the game, they would get like 10% off or something.
That's sick.
Different things we could do if you guys wanted.
Dylan wants to know if we'll have realistic bikes or bikes like Descenders. I mean, the only bike in the game right now is the Frameworks bike. The next bike we put in the game will be a real bike as well. Joe, when you get a chance, show the bike again for Dylan. He can check it out and see what it looks like. But it's pretty true to life.
Yeah, all the bikes in the game are going to be real branded bikes. That's our plan. And there'll be bike customization, so you'll be able to pick like which brand you want to ride and go to the bike shop, pick out your bike. There'll be ways you can unlock the bikes. There'll be no like in-game currencies or money. You're not to buy the bikes. It's all just kind of unlocked by riding and completing challenges and such. Yeah, let me show you the bike here. The lighting in this map isn't great because Maggie, our artist, hasn't been in here yet. This was me doing all this art, and I'm not an artist. So The lighting, the bike, you know, if you guys know the Frameworks bike, it's not black. In here, it almost looks black because there's not enough light. But there you go. That is the Frameworks downhill bike.
Got some overalls today.
Yeah, she's rocking some overalls. We haven't done customization yet, but at some point we will. And I think people are dying to get on ride with a dude and with different clothing. People, you know, I'm digging our girl, but some people are not.
It's a girl rider wearing Jackson Riddle's clothes.
Yeah.
He's been known to wear some overalls on the bike.
Joe, Mr. Hamster wants to know if you're planning on adding some BMX to this game and bike park maybe.
Well, I mean, I grew up on BMX. That's kind of where my roots are. You know, I did BMX for a long time before I ever touched a mountain bike. So yeah, but BMX is very close to my heart. I still ride BMX every now and then. So, you know, there's no PC game that has BMX racing. So I would love to be the first to introduce some like proper BMX racing, but also, you know, freestyle BMX and dirt jumps and tricks and all that stuff. So yeah, we definitely want to get to BMX. It's lower on the priority list because this is a mountain bike game first. But really, we want this to just be a game about all kinds of bikes. So, you know, if this game takes off and becomes successful, I could see us having like cross-country races because I used to be a big cross-country racer. We could have BMX races, all kinds of stuff. I want to have tandem bikes where you and your buddy get on and one of you has one half the controller, the other has the other half, like for, you know, not this exact same controller, but the controls are split and, you know, one of you has to control part of the bike. The other person controls the other part. Have fun, be silly, you know. We want to have real bikes and also silly stuff. So the more people that play and the more people that buy the game, the more money we have to do more fun stuff, really. That's what it comes down to.
Bike Lad wants to know how much is the game costing so far? We're getting close to being through $250,000 so far, I think, Joe. Is that right?
Yeah.
So almost $250,000. It costs us like $25,000 to $30,000 a month, something like that. Varies a little bit, but it's close to that. We're trying.
How many programmers do you guys have on the team?
If you count Joe, which I think you should to some extent because he's learning quickly too, but we really only have one. We have one programmer, we have one artist, we have a track builder, trail builder, and then we have Joe, who's a game designer and kind of does a little bit of all that stuff, really. And then there's a number of us who are involved in help in some ways, but we're not on staff. We're not getting paid. Whereas, you know, some of us are founders of the company, like me. So I help just because I love working with Joe and because I believe in this project, and I also have a financial stake in it, so it's important to me for that reason as well. But you know, my son Julian's an intern. He's helping because he wants some college credit. He wants something cool to put on his resume. And Tobias, our majority owner, does a lot. He does the business stuff. He's kind of running a new fundraising round right now, trying to get us a little bit more money. Fish, another founder, is an artist. Exceptionally works for Red Bull. Cam has for many years. He's a retainer with Red Bull anyway. Super talented. If you ever need a really amazing graphic designer who is the most effective person other than maybe Joe that I ever worked with in my life, let me know. I'll hook you up with Fish. He's an absolute pleasure to work with. He's brilliant in everything he does, just so you know. And
he's unbelievably good. Awesome. I keep getting a question about what we think about Mavericks, and I'll just say I think what Matt's doing is super cool. I think it's another video game from a passionate mountain biker who just loves everything mountain biking. That the guy loves creating stuff. He's always building crazy trails, and I love watching his trail builds. Now he's like building a new bike park. So it's fun watching what he's doing. I think the play styles are very different than Cranked. Cranked is all like free physics based, where his is very animation based. So it kind of just comes down to like what you prefer as a player. There's some players that prefer that style, and there's some players that prefer a more physics based style. So I think it's awesome what he's doing, and it's a cool game, and check them both out and see which one is more up your alley and go from there.
But us personally, we're going to like our game better because we're making the game we want, right? Like, so anybody else's game, they're making a game they wanted to make. We're literally making the exact game that we want. So it's going to be difficult for us to be into anybody else's game as much as our own, because this is what we want to have in a mountain bike game.
Yep.
But what a cool time to have two being developed at the same time.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
For those two to be so different as well.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the understated look of Crank. Like sometimes we hear people think that it looks, I mean, a lot of people don't realize how early in development we are and that it's still all a work in progress because we're putting it out there for everybody to see early on. But, you know, a lot of people, they love just how realistic and beautiful Mavericks is because they really put a lot of energy into the way it looks and and that type of stuff. So I know I hear a lot of people say that's super important to them.
I talked to like some real gamer friends too, and they were explaining to me just how much more challenging it is to create a game that has realistic physics, and you know, once you have that, then you can put a nice gloss coat over it and polish up the graphics. But it's really the backbone of what makes a game play in a realistic way is the physics, which seems like what you guys have put the most energy into.
Absolutely. You know, so much energy's gone into physics. Almost a year went into just physics, and now we're just finally getting around to doing other stuff like multiplayer and that. What are you gonna say, Brian?
Even the OG Mad Skills was like that. Like the first thing we ever had was physics. Like the physics were the core of everything that we were doing. The way the game felt to play was the most important thing, and everything else we kind of molded around that. So we just brought the same approach we've always used when making video games to this one, basically.
Right out in front of everybody naked too, though, right? Like you're legit not afraid to show everybody how the sausage is made. Like everything is transparent.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier. You don't have things you got to keep track of. You just say whatever is what. There was a song that Childish Gambino did one time where he does this spoken word piece, and at the end of it, he mentions something along the lines of how there's nothing to hide. Everything's out there for everybody to see all the time anyway. Like there's no more nothing holding you back. You just do your thing. So it's more. It's like fun to work like that because you make sure you believe in the decisions you're making. You have a good reason to believe in it, and then you just put it out there and you stand by what you did because you did it because you believe in it and for no other reason. Free to play makes that harder, Cam. When you have microtransactions in a game, and the only way the game is really going to work financially is if you steer people into making purchases within the game, then you can't only think about quality. You have to stay in business. So you have to think about guiding people through a journey that puts them in a position to spend some money, or else you won't last very long. But when you're just charging a fair price up front, making it as good as you can make it, you take that complicated element of some types of game making out of it. And now everything you do is just like, is it going to make it better? If it makes it better, we do it. And if it's not going to make it better, we don't do it. That's the gist.
If you got the game, you get the full experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have downloadable content, DLCs in the game over time. That's another thing that's kind of important to keep the studio going over time. But that's all you know. It's one-time purchases. Again, it's entirely new worlds. It's not microtransactions. It's all done through the Steam store and all that stuff. It's not like you're coercing players into a paywall, is what a lot of people would call it, right? Like if you're forced into a port where you at least feel like you can't advance in a game unless you spend money.
Right.
I mean, I get that this is the way that these types of games need to be designed sometimes, or at least are designed. But we didn't have any appetite for that this time, man. So we're not doing it.
That's awesome.
I want to give a very special shout out to my niece and nephew, Michaela and Dylan. I think they might be watching. So what's up, Michaela, Dylan? Make sure you wear your helmets when you ride your bike.
What's up, Michaela and Dylan? I second that. Wear your helmets.
I remember you two running around Florida.
Wear your shoes too.
Yes, good point.
Joe, I walked into a local restaurant last night to pick up a gift certificate for a benefit concert that I was helping out with, and Susto was playing on the radio.
Oh, nice.
Awesome band.
Love Susto. Oh, Cam, I had questions for you myself, and I didn't ask any of them. Let me pull my notes in. Some of them are silly, so this is who I am. What's your go-to lunch?
A burrito.
A burrito.
I had to think about that one though.
Okay, all right, a burrito. I like it. Do you pack your own burrito? Like if you're going out for a trail day, do you pack your own burrito and eat that for lunch, or you'd like to go out and buy a burrito?
No, I'll buy a burrito.
Okay.
Like from a Mexican taco truck type of thing. It's not an everyday thing, but it's the days that I look forward to the most are ones that involve burritos.
Okay. I like it. You should come visit me because I live walking distance to Mexico and we could get a lot of burritos.
That's what's up.
One thing, I guess it's not really a question for you, but one thing I wanted to bring up and kind of chat about was that people in our community, and I've noticed this myself, which I find interesting, is that playing Cranked is somehow making us better real life riders.
Ooh, nice.
Because in cranked, we tried to make the physics as playful as possible, and it really encourages you, like hopping around, jumping around, throwing the bike around, kind of finding little gaps here and there where there would maybe normally wouldn't. So now when I get on, I play this all day, every day, working on it. I notice when I get on my bike now in real life, I'm like trying to be cranked in real life, and sometimes it gets a little sketchy. But now I'm just like popping all these little gaps, trying to find ways to flow, and I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, and I think it probably goes the other way around. So I'm curious if you get into this and start playing it a little bit here and there, your thoughts on like you probably will find the flow sooner than people who don't ride, just because you know how riding goes and the lines and kind of all that stuff.
I have a thought as to maybe why it's having a positive impact on your real life riding. I think, the beginning of the stream, there was a question about what's the worst feeling on a bike or something like that. And I was mentioning that if you haven't been riding for a while, or you're sleep deprived, you're jet lagged or something, I think one thing that makes it hard is your brain isn't interpreting all the data it's being given by the train that's coming at you. You're not processing it fast enough to make actual reactions to stay on the line you want and ride the way you want. But maybe while you're playing the game so much, you're constantly being fed terrain.
Yeah.
And so your brain has that muscle that's been working, even though you haven't been riding. You're interpreting, you're reading terrain at a really fast pace. And maybe you're just you're tuned up for when you get on the real bike.
That makes sense. You're probably right there. I wanted to talk to you about clipless versus flats and that whole situation. I assume for most of your life you've probably ridden flats, because that's like kind of more free ride freestyle stuff. Have you ever ridden clips? And if so, what are your thoughts on them? And do you ever go back and forth?
Yeah, I definitely always wear flats. I always ride flats. I have ridden clips, but it was like ancient times when I was a kid racing downhill. I would wear clips because I knew there would be benefits to it. But I never rode them enough to where I felt super comfortable getting off the bike if I need to, or just like saving myself. People who ride clips all the time, they are so good at getting in and out of them. They're never going to have like a dorky mishap with them. And I've recently thought about messing with them again for like more tech riding to just keep your feet from blowing off.
Yeah.
And I like, if I go for a road ride, I always ride clips still. And it's only as of recent times that I thought maybe I'll throw some on just for a like techie trail ride and see if I can get comfortable with them. Who likes their feet blown off? Nobody. I would ride them not for like the pedaling benefits of like being able to pull and push at the same time. More of like I want my feet to just stay on during these tech sections benefits.
That's how I transitioned to them, because I grew up in the Midwest, in Chicago area, and it's not techie there. So I think I maybe rode them a little bit there, but then when I moved here, it's super mountainy, techie, rocky. Everything is basically tech. So my pedals were a lot of times like on climbs, these really crazy techie climbs, my feet would blow off, and then the back of my calves just are all gashed up.
Yes.
Or going down,
you were going
blow
forward off the pedals, right?
Yep. So that's when I was like, all right. And then I started riding them. But I've been riding them for years now, probably 10 years or more. But lately, I'm like, I think I want to try flats. I don't know.
Like, because you got new pedals and ended up falling into like 14 cactuses.
That's
why. Every day I was getting a text from Joe with another picture and pulling needles out because he couldn't get his feet off the pedals.
So what happened was I was
you
riding.
You just go on those rides by yourself as you're getting used to them, huh?
Yeah,
you did.
I did. I was riding Crank Brothers, and I bought new shoes. And when I bought the new shoes, I bought new cleats. And my old cleats were like, I don't know, probably like 8-year-old cleats on there. So, they're all ground down and worn down, and you get used to that. You forget how grippy they were when you first got them. So, you have your muscle memory from the last couple years of these worn down cleats. And then I would go to get out and realize like, oh yeah, I forgot these are brand new and I'm stuck. And then I would just like tip over into a cactus.
Oh
And that,
Ah,
so anyway, I switched from Crank Brothers back to Shimano SPD because I can at least adjust the tension on those. But
there you go.
I'm like, man, maybe I need to try flats again. What's your go-to flat
Yeah, I have
pedals?
my SPDs set up super loose so I can get out of them really
Yeah.
easily. And like I say, I am very tempted to go and try them again, especially at this one spot, especially in the winter here. One of our best riding spots is really rocky, Klein Butte. I guess Horse Ridge is rocky as well. I feel like it would be a good spot to ride flats both those areas. One thing I would say I've noticed with some riders where only riding clips is detrimental is like hopping off ellipse or bunny hopping.
Yeah.
I see riders who've only ever ridden clips, never had any experience with flats. They pull too much.
Yeah.
They're not like doing a bunny hop like you would ollie a skateboard.
Yeah.
And that skill is like way better to have in your back pocket than the straight up bunny hop that you do with clips. You end up with like a really awkward pop off of a jump if that's the only type of lift that you know how to do. So if anybody out there is feeling like they're getting kicked weird on jumps and they've only ever ridden clips, maybe grab some flats and learn how to bunny hop, and it'll help your jumping too.
Luckily, I started on BMX, so I think my bunny hop skills are good with
good.
With flats. But do you got a pair of flats you really like that I should pick up and try out?
My brother's flats are pretty sick. He's got signature flat pedals with Deity. They're called the T-Mac. The ones that I ride and I love because they're kind of a bigger version of the old classic DX pedals, which I'm sure you're familiar with from BMX, old Shimano DX.
Yep.
So it's the Shimano XTs are the ones that I ride right now. And there are a couple different models. So it's a certain model of XT and they might be discontinued. So then that's information that's useless. But I think they're coming out with some new ones as well. But I like a flat pedal with good concave. That's the most important part. There's like a lot of flat pedals out there that are just really thin, and that's like their selling point. Oh yeah, you're gonna scrape the ground less because they're thin.
Yeah.
But your foot isn't being held by the pedal. You're at the mercy of your pins. But like I would rather take a pedal with no pins and great concave both directions and be cupped by the pedal than have a pedal with just a flat platform and really spiky pins. I think the concave is more important. That's kind of what my brother did with the design of his pedal. There's tons of concave in them. They just hold your foot in there.
These guys?
Yeah.
Dude, and they got blue to match my bike.
The computer.
Dude, crank
collabs.
collabs.
Those suckers, they've been around for a long time.
We should do a crank collabs with them. You can hook us up.
I know the guy. I'll put you in touch with him. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, cool.
Dude, I might have to try
And
this.
his phone number. It's one digit off from my phone number.
That's crazy. And
How long have you guys had those numbers?
Since we got our first Motorola Razors in like, I don't know, geez, I was probably in junior high or something like that. It was probably like 99, 98 or something like that, maybe.
Which ones do you have?
Yeah, probably.
Did you say XPD?
No. There's Shimano XT flats, the ones that I ride right now. And let's see. Ooh, I think those were them. You had them a second ago. I think that might be them.
Used. I wonder if they still make them. No, those are clip.
Oh, those are...
Goosey's hanging out with us and says somebody is echoing badly. I don't know if there's a way we can figure this out if we don't worry about it because we're going to end this thing in like 8 minutes anyway. Maybe we don't. It's the first I've seen that though.
Yeah, same.
I'm coming right back.
Now I got some options. I don't think I hear an echo. Crank. Julian doesn't hear an echo.
Okay.
Austin Sauce says the DDT Mac is amazing, great concave, a little bulky, but worth the price. And then Antgrass says DDT's so good.
Did you get that, Cam? There we go.
I ride. Yeah, I know. I heard that. I got my
nice.
AirPods, so I was hearing all that. But here's the ones that I love. And like I say, they might be discontinued. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure if they are, they're working on some new ones. But these ones be good too. Is that the same one as those?
Let's see. Here's some. Yeah, it looks XT to go to. Here we go. This item is unavailable.
You're not gonna spin the wheel to see if you won?
No. But yeah, these do look sick.
Oh no, that's a different. Yeah,
Yeah,
those ones not as much. These ones so much.
gotcha. Yeah, it does look like they're no longer in production.
Darn it.
Yeah. Let's see. Can I sort by flats? Yes. Oh. Ooh. Those look kind of cool. Yeah.
Concave. Gotta have concave.
These ones got some concave, no?
Oh yeah, this one's got a lot of concave.
What do you like about the concave?
Just kind of like your foot nestles into where it's supposed to be, rather than being at the mercy of the pins doing all the gripping. It's kind of like a skateboard or something. Where you've got the cradle for your foot to butt up against, and you can kind of it'll hold your foot on better, but you can also kind of just like lean into them. There's
Yeah.
something to push up against. And that's the
Gotcha.
thing I like about flats as well, is like, shifting your feet on the pedals, whether that be like in a corner or in the air. You'll see anybody who does like the best tables, their feet are like lifting off of the pedals to be able to get your body out of the way to flatten the bike out. And I think having a pedal that has good concave and no pins in the middle, because you don't want the middle to be
Gotcha.
held down. You want the
Yeah.
sides to be held down.
Okay.
There's a lot of deity love in the chat.
Yeah, I think I might just have to get your brother's signature pedals.
There you go.
I'm down for that.
Hell yeah.
We got 5 minutes, so anyone got last minute questions? Anyone want to say anything to Cam? Now's your chance. And then we're out of here. But I definitely need to get some flats before we go do some of these bike parks, because I don't really want to ride cliffs at a bike park, I don't think.
Cam, do you have a street bike, a motorcycle? Do you own one?
No, I don't. I had one for a little bit, but I got rid of it. I don't currently have one.
What did you have when you had, what was the last bike you had?
I had like a CB750, a Honda CB750.
Right on.
I had this whole plan to like get my dad's old flat track bars put on it and put a bike rack on it, and it would be my way to get up to Mount Bachelor, or bike park in the summertime.
Yeah.
But I ended up never doing it, and then I ended up selling it and buying a video camera and starting a YouTube channel. Probably smarter.
Yeah, probably worked out.
Yeah. How about you?
I got rid of my Triumph a year ago, and now I was jonesing, and then I got a mountain bike. I don't really care about the motorcycle anymore. I'm good.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's rad.
Oh, that was.
I've rode.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was on that bike for 20 some years, so it was I'd put my miles in, man. It was it was sort of my main form of transportation too. So I was more of a day-to-day rider than like a weekend type guy. I would kind of ride 9 or 10 months out of the year, just go places on it. Usually just by myself. So I got a lot of riding in. Mountain bikes, that's more my speed now.
That leads me to my another question I had for you, Cam, was your thoughts on mountain bikes. Do you own one? Which one do you have? How often do you ride it?
Yeah, big fan of it actually. And I wasn't initially a fan because the first ones I tried, the bikes weren't that good. I would rather ride a good bike than have a lot of power. And the experience didn't feel like mountain biking to me. But right now, an e-bike that I have that I love has one of those TQ motors, and they're very low profile. They're light assist, but the bike feels like a mountain bike.
Nice.
There are a lot of really good motors coming out that are pretty light and pretty powerful. So I think in the next few years, it's going to change a lot, and it's going to be mostly about like long travel bikes with super powerful lightweight motors. So you're basically going to have your cake and eat it too, like those new DJI Avinox motors.
Yeah.
I've been hearing really good things about those. I rode one around in a parking lot, and like you lift up the bike, you're like, oh my God, it's not that heavy, but it's like the most powerful motor there is. And so I think that's going to be the future. I think we're going to look back and laugh. We're going to be like, remember when e-bikes weren't downhill bikes with a motor?
Yeah.
Like, it's what every e-bike should be. It should be the longest travel bike with dual crown forks and a motor. You don't need a 140 millimeter travel bike with a motor on it. Like, if you already got a motor, you should have all the travel so you can have all the fun.
True.
That's my theory on it.
I'm
Where
excited
you
to
guys at with e-bikes?
yeah, like I didn't ride one until maybe a year ago, and my buddy here owns a bike shop called Rad Dog Bikes, Richie, and he had a bunch of salsa e-bikes kind of as loaners, and he took me out on one, and I was just like, oh, this is different. Like, this is a different, where I live, it's, all the trails start at the base of the mountain, and you climb for as many hours as your body can handle, and then you cruise down. Like, that's kind of the vibe here. It's like mostly climbing, a little bit of down. And then with the e-bike, it was like, oh, I don't have to like feel like I have a hangover at the end of the ride. I can still get a long ride and go even further, enjoy the downhill more times because I can do laps now. And it just kind of opened my eyes to some different. So I don't own one yet, but I'll definitely be getting one. Looking between Mondraker or kind of waiting to see what happens with this Atherton e-bike coming out, because that's going to have that Avanox motor too, and Atherton's cool. The downside is they don't really have US like service centers, or if something happens, then shipping it back and forth to Wales becomes an issue, especially because it's an e-bike and you got to ship it by boat. So that's kind of the kicker right now, is like seeing I was talking to them, and they do in the next like year or two, they do want to like kind of go heavier in the US. So if that whole side of things improves, then I could see myself probably going for the Atherton e-bike.
That would be cool. An Atherton with an Avanox, you have it all right there.
Yeah,
that's what's. The Mondraker you're looking at, does that have one of those TQ motors? What motor does that one have?
They do have some that have the TQ, but I would probably get the Crafty. The Crafty has like the Bosch. The one I want has got the CXR at the CX Race. So it is one of the bigger ones. But then I can take that sucker all the way up to the mountain.
There you go. Yeah, the one that I ride now is a Trek Slash Plus with a TQ HPR 50. So they make a HPR 60, same size. It just has more power. But that's my favorite e-bike right now because it feels exactly like a normal Slash.
Nice.
Got that little motor. It's just enough assistance where you can, get 3 laps in versus 1 in the same window of time. And the bike responds exactly the same way as the bike I'm used to. And so at the moment, that's what I'm into. But yeah, I think those higher power motors, you can always turn them down too. Like, people say, oh, you're not going to get that much exercise. Well, then you have
totally
no discipline, because if you want to get exercise, every e-bike has the ability to turn the assistance level down. You can still get your exercise.
Turn it off and you get plenty of damn exercise.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Forget to charge it.
Paperweight mode. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Cam, do you have like an old school bike from your career that you held on to that's important that you keep in your living room or anything like that?
I've got all my slope frames from my competition years on the wall in my garage.
Nice.
So it's like, I don't know, it's 10 or 11. It's the seasons 04 through 2014. And it's just, the slope style frames. So those short, like 4-inch travel frames. And so everything from the first ticket prototype from 04 all the way into just, the last bike I rode a contest season on. So I held on to all those. I didn't do the, like, I'm going to hold on to complete bikes things, because then you're like, oh my God, these take up so much space. But I might try to get my old Ellsworth from before I started riding for Trek. I might try to get that back because it still exists. And I think it's at a buddy's house back down in California. So I might get that one because that would be kind of a cool one to have.
Right on.
One more. See, I'm remembering all the questions I had for you now that we're done, but I'll ask one more. And now that you're not on Trek, I'm sure when you have a sponsor like that, if they catch you riding some other brand, I don't know how it probably doesn't go over well. But now that you're not on Trek, are there any bike brands out there you're excited to like mess with or try out, or not? Are you just going to be a Trek loyal?
I'm talking about this so much right now because I find it hilarious. I haven't really cared what any other bike brands are doing for the past over 20 years.
Yeah.
They started riding for Trek in 04. And so from the time I stopped riding my old Ellsworth and started riding Trek bikes, I haven't ridden any other bikes that much. I haven't paid attention to any other bikes that much. And so I'm such a geek right now of like making up for lost time, of like understanding what else is out there. And it's kind of fun. It's like, there's a lot of really shitty things about getting dropped by Trek. But one cool thing is I've become more of like a bike geek than I have been for over 2 decades. And I'm really interested in all the stuff that's out there. And talking with the guys at Lone Wolf about maybe doing a little video series of like testing new bikes.
That'd be cool.
We're trying to find a tire company to sponsor the series so we can shoot it. But that would be kind of fun in between having, whatever the next bike partner will be. It's just testing a bunch of different things and just giving honest feedback on it.
Yeah.
Because, if the series is not sponsored by any of the bike brands, you can say exactly what you're noticing about them, and there's no repercussions. So that would be kind of fun.
That would be awesome. I would love to watch that, actually.
Kind of like the way we make games.
Yeah.
Say whatever is on your mind, unimpeded, with nothing whatsoever getting in the way. It's awesome.
Yeah, just honest
Really
feedback.
Brian, you want to close it out?
Yeah, just want to say, first of all, Cam, thank you for hanging out with us, man. We've been talking about it for a little while. You were traveling. We had to kind of cancel things last week, but stoked to have you back and want to make it happen again soon. We're both at the beginning of building new things. So as we can find ways to do things together and amplify each other, we're game. We love working with you. You're one of the coolest people I've met in a long time, and I love any time we have text exchanges or hang out and this type of a thing. So first of all, thank you for hanging out with us today. Very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys for having me again. It's insane how much has changed since last time I was on and how many improvements you guys made to it. And like I say, I'm excited to have the most recent update, play around with it some more, and then just keep following the progress.
Word. And then just everybody else, thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you don't have the playtest, head over to Steam, please, and just hit the request button. You get it for free immediately. Hit that wish list button while you're there, if you would. It's very helpful for us. Or check us out on Patreon if you want to get everything that we're doing as we do it and as we release it on a regular basis. Otherwise, Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you, brother. Why don't you close it out? Because you've been busting your butt on this project lately. And I think you should get the last word today.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone for hanging out. We got a lot of big updates coming. Updates to multiplayer, updates to the physics. The physics updates will go to the playtest, the free playtest version 2. So be sure to check out those updates because we really want your feedback. We don't have the playtest up there for no good reason. We want to hear what you guys think, especially when it comes to physics. Some of these changes might be a little controversial. So looking forward to hearing your feedback. I think it pulls things a little more in the realistic realm. Maybe it makes the game even a little more difficult. So but I think it's fun, especially on those kind of tight single track loamy style trails. It feels really good. But yeah, thanks for everyone hanging out. Check us out on Patreon if you want to get the full version, start playing multiplayer. It's only $5 a month. Like I said, we're a small indie team. We put all our own savings into this, so your money, even $5, helps us a lot. So thank you all. Thank you to you, Cam, as well. And be looking for a lot of fun stuff in the future. See you guys next week. Same time, same place. Later.
Later.